Good evening, my loves. Welcome to this week's Coaching Gem. I'm Deanna, the love guide, and we're here on Destination Deanna. As always, please consider Destination Deanna your self help learning library for all things love. Tonight's topic is dating after divorce. So, last week we talked about dealing with divorce. And there are a lot of people that have already been kind of on their little journey and they've been processing through with divorce and they are considering dating now. So who's this message? Who is this message for? It's for divorcees mainly, right? But it's also for anyone who is recovering from love loss or long-term breakups. And my intention tonight is to offer support and some tips for those re-entering the dating scene after divorce. So you are thoroughly prepared to have a successful dating experience. If you're new here, there's my honey. Hi, baby. Thank you for being here, right and center to support. We always talk about what I'm not doing, so we can be very clear and you can save your time typing your little mad messages, right? So what I'm not doing, I'm not giving you all the answers of how to date. I'm not doing that. We're grown adults. Dating is going to be different for everyone. So no, I don't have a specific wear this, do that. Now, when you pay me to be your coach, I definitely do that. But for the purposes of making sure that you're prepared, that's not what we're going to do tonight. Sorry to let anybody down if that's what you were thinking. We're definitely going to talk about preparedness and what to do as you're going out there. But I'm not giving a step-by-step, play-by-play. I will open it up for Q&A at the end. And if you have specific questions then, I would be happy to answer them. So what we're going to do tonight is literally assess your readiness. And I'm going to tell you what to do if you're not ready and if you are. So there will be two paths tonight. One for if you aren't yet ready after we talk about this. And the other one is if you feel like you are ready, what should you do next? Okay. Hey, Fanny. One of my queens from the Queen's Court checking in. So first, here's where you might want to, if you're a note taker, you might want to start here because I'm going to give you a host of kind of questions to consider, to ask yourself, right? Your dating journey is going to be unique to you, but allow me to provide a series of questions that are basically a checklist of sorts for you to review and use to assess your overall readiness for dating. All right. Excuse me for a moment. Okay, so here we go. What are the questions to ask yourself? Two main questions. One is, how healed are you? How healed are you? So when considering this question, here's some other sub questions to ask yourself. Have you forgiven your ex? Have you forgiven yourself? Can you speak about your past in a healthy way that won't run someone off? Are you able to be accountable for your choices? So how healed are you? I know after going through a divorce, many times we're just trying to move on, right? We've experienced hurt, we've experienced loss, let down, and we are just ready to move forward. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, you don't want to bring someone into your mess. You also don't want to mess up a good opportunity. So say you meet someone and they're great and you really could do well with them. If you have not done your due diligence to heal properly, you could ruin a new opportunity. So really take some time to think about, how healed are you? Are you easily triggered? Are you still bothered by things that remind you of that relationship or that person? And then the second question to ask yourself, why do you want to date? Why do you want to date? Are you bored? Are you having a hard time adjusting to being single or being alone? Are you trying to rush your healing? Is it for fun? Is it for practice? Is it just for sex? Is it commitment? Is it marriage? Why do you want to date? Now, these two questions, you should be able to do a self-assessment. And honestly, you need to be able to be honest with yourself. Now is not the time to kind of overinflate your readiness or your healing. Like, take an honest look at where you are and decide from there. So from there, you would want to decide, are you ready or no? If it's no, here's what you should do. Number one, you should address your hurt and be accountable for your choices. So literally, this is doing the healing, right? Address your hurt, call it out, journal about it, see a counselor, see a therapist, be able to address the hurt that you've experienced. And then be accountable for your choices. Now, what I mean by this is you're not taking on the blame, right? And you're not absolving the other person of what they may have done to you or in the relationship. But you should be at a place where you can look at why you made certain decisions, why you allowed certain behavior, why you remained long after you knew it was over or it wasn't healthy. You should be able to do that. That's number one. Then number two, you should forgive and let go. Now, forgive the other person, and this doesn't necessarily mean that you reconciled with them and, if you can, if you're able to talk with them, if you're able to kind of get closure that way, great. But if not, you still need to be able to forgive. And you need to be able to not only forgive them, but forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for making decisions that you knew weren't the best. Forgive yourself for accepting less than you deserve. Forgive yourself for showing up less than your best self. Whatever it is you may need to forgive yourself for, you need to do that. And that's what's going to help you let it go, so that there's nothing lingering. You're not taking your luggage with you into your next situation. So forgive and let go. And the third one is love on yourself. Love on yourself. Why is this so important? You need to be able to build yourself back up. When you go through a breakup, something as serious as a divorce, you can really take a hit to your self-esteem, right? You can start to feel less than, right? You start to feel shame. You start to feel unsuccessful, a lot of negative energy. So you need to love on yourself again. You need to get to know yourself again. Learn what you like, what you don't like, what you enjoy doing in your spare time. Maybe it's a career change. There's a lot of different things. How do you like to pamper yourself? How do you like to love on yourself? Spend time doing this, because it's going to help you enter the dating scene more confidently, and it's going to make you even more clear about what you desire to experience regarding love with another person once you give it to yourself. And bonus, it'll also ensure that you're not desperate for love. Desperation is a repellent for love. You can't be desperate for love or anything you want to attract. There has to be a certain balance between desire and expectancy without it bordering desperation. So, loving on yourself will help you in this area. And I'm sorry, there's some comments that were coming in. I was like feeling it. Yes, yes, honey. Accountability is key. Hi, Chantel. So glad you could tune in. Yep, you do not want to carry the hurts like a backpack. Exactly. We're not dragging our luggage from relationship to relationship. Hey, Joy. Noted. Love it. Hey, Shaka. Peace. This is most important. Yep. Love on yourself. So that's if you kind of have done the assessment and you see that you're not necessarily ready, right? You see that you're not necessarily ready. So let's say you've done the assessment and you are ready. You are ready. So if you are ready to date, here's the steps for you. Number one, get your self-esteem in order. So this is kind of piggybacking off of the love yourself, right? You've already kind of done that, but now it's like improve anything that might hinder your self-esteem being top tier. So if you're not necessarily feeling good about your body, get in the gym, eat better, learn about vegetables, fruit, and water, right? Do the things that will improve you. Get a new hairdo. Take a makeup application class. Try lashes. Redo your wardrobe. Whatever it is that would boost your self-esteem, do that. Why is self-esteem so important in your overall presentation? Well, for ladies specifically, we know men are visual, so presentation matters. But this is a general practice. Fellas, my fellas that are tuning in as well, you want to get your self-esteem in order also because you date at the level of your self-esteem. So if you're not feeling good about you, if you're not feeling like you look good, if you're not feeling like you are a catch, you're not going to go after what you really want. You're going to go after what you think you can get. So that is why, number one, get your self-esteem in order. Do whatever it is to improve and up-level yourself so you can show up more confidently with a higher sense of self-esteem. Number two, you want to get clear about what you want and why. You want to get really crystal clear. What do you want? What do you want in a dating experience? What do you want in a partner? What do you want? Get really clear about this. What do you desire to experience? What types of dates? What types of experiences do you want to share? What level of intimacy is comfortable to you? And why? Why do you want these things? And the reason why this is so important is because when you are clear about what you want and why, it makes it so much easier to say no to anything that does not align. And we're not here to be recreationally dating. I mean, if you are, okay, that's up to you. I don't suggest it at our big ages. However, I do suggest knowing exactly what you want, knowing why it's important, so that when things are coming to you, when potential mates are showing up, when you're being invited on dates, you know what to say no to. You are clear about what you want. Number three, make space for dating. Make space. Make space mentally. Can you mentally carry the load of sharing, opening up yourself, getting to know a person, and holding space for them as well? right? Then emotionally, are you able to relax? For my ladies, are you able to flow in your feminine? Do you have your emotions in order? Do you have them in check? Do you have them under control? And physically. So, physically is how you're showing up, also physically in your world. Do you have time? Do you even have time to date? Are you going to be available if you meet someone, they're interested and they want to take you out? Or is your schedule jam-packed and you don't have any room? If you're ready to date, these are things you need to be preparing. If you get ready, you'll be ready for opportunities when they come instead of possibly missing out on them because you tried to get ready really fast. Take yourself on a date. Absolutely. Love that. Amen. Okay, honey. Recreationally dating will bring a recreational relationship. Absolutely. So if you don't want that, you don't want to play around with it. And number 4, this is the final one. Go live life. If you really believe that you are ready to be healthy and have a healthy dating experience, go live life. I didn't say go get on a dating app. I didn't say do any of that. Go live life and just put yourself in position to be approached. So as you're living life, you want to be doing activities that you would enjoy doing alone, but also with a potential mate. You want to be in the spaces that would have the people, the types of people that you might entertain being in a relationship with. So you want to be doing these things. You want to be active. You want to be going to the right networking events. You want to be going to the classes that you enjoy, whether it's cooking classes, dancing classes. You want to be going to comedy places, jazz music, whatever it is that you are into and could enjoy by yourself. You want to be doing those things, right? We do not want you obsessing over dating. Just focus on doing the things that you enjoy and being approachable. And for my ladies, you want to be able to flow in your feminine. So before you actually start entertaining these dates, get comfortable with it, right? So that's that. That's that on that. If you are ready, those are the things that you should do. And for those of you that just want a little bit more, I am actually doing a 3-day IG live series called Spring Clean Your Dating Life. And I'm doing this as a collaboration with Coach Natasha. So check us out on Instagram. My @ is Destination Diana. It's the same on every platform. We'll be doing it Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 12:30 noontime, Central Standard Time. So if you want more specific tips on cleaning your dating life up, we're going to be talking about that. 30-minute live, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So join us. And now, for the time that you all love the most, Q&A. Q&A. What are your questions? What are your questions about dating after divorce? Let me see. Let me go to the comments. Carla, man, I started dating myself last year and I'm very affordable date by myself. I'm so easily pleased. So the question is, do you remain that way when you start to go out? Because as you're dating yourself, it should be the same, right? It should be the same. You should be doing all the same things that you would want somebody to do for you. One, it gets you used to that treatment so you won't be acting brand new when somebody wants to do something for you. But 2, it keeps things realistic. So if you're an affordable date and you're easily pleased, you should remain that way when you start going out. Nah, bandwidth is a thing. I find a lot of people don't have the time for the relationship they claim they want. This is why you'll hear me bring this up a lot, because I'm finding that as well. I'm finding a lot of people saying, oh, I want this type of person. I want that. I want that. And then I'm like, okay, so what if you met him tomorrow and he's like, hey, let's go to such and such for the weekend? Oh, well, I got a this and and that. And well, what about next weekend? Oh, well, I got this and I got, well, then where is somebody supposed to try to fit in? So that's definitely one of the areas that people need to focus on. Like, you have to make space in your life for the things that you want. If every minute of your day is filled with things, where do you have space to even receive or invite anything else in? Yeah, Shaka, I had to laugh too. Kala's wild. She got to keep that same energy though. Okay. She said definitely. Okay, honey, you come with the good questions too. I think Will really pays attention to a lot of like the comments and things on my page. So he pulls a lot of things together to ask the questions that maybe other people are not asking. So I so appreciate that, baby. How should you view the importance of the place a person takes you on a date? Oh, this is good. You always come up with the good ones. This is so good. Let me sip a little tea. Hold on. So I think, and this is my opinion slash professional guidance. The importance of the place. It is important, but it's not important for the reasons that usually get talked about. Like, it's not important like price, whatever. I think what's really important about place is, what was the thought process? Did this person consider you? Meaning, say you're not a nature person and they want to take you on a hike. Now, there could be something said for they want you to have a new experience and all of that, but I think in the first couple of dates, it really should be tailored to comforts so that both of you can be comfortable to open up. Now, you can experience new things, you can try new things, but they still should be within a certain comfort level so the person isn't nervous or closed off. The purpose of dating is to get to know a person, to get to know them, to see if you should even consider anything beyond, hey, we just met. So I think you really should pay attention to whether or not this person paid attention to you. Did they listen to you? Did they ask you about what you enjoyed, what you would like to experience, anywhere you would like to go, or if there was anywhere that was completely off limits to you? So it is important, but it's important for whether or not this person paid attention and factored that into their planning. I hope that answers the question. My kids are grown. I'm ready. I bet you are. You was probably counting the time down. Get them out of there. Yep. Keep that same energy. Hi, Felicia. Felicia says, I like a simple first date. So this just basically kind of feeds what I just said. If a person like went all out and did something extravagant, Felicia might not like that. She prefers a simple first date. And that would come up in conversation if the person was paying attention. They would pay attention to kind of how she does things. They might ask her, oh, what are some of the things you like to do? And blah, 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 whatever. So you want to be looking for that. You want to date people that are actually interested in you, not just someone that might have cookie cutter dates that they take everybody on and they are looking for the best option to make themselves known. You want to be going on dates with people that are actually interested in you. There was something special about you. There was something intriguing about you that made them want to know more. No, it doesn't have to be an immediate like love connection, but it could just be a simple spark of interest. But it should be interest in you, not interest in just going out. I feel like the combos to lead up to the date should give you enough information to know what you would enjoy. Exactly. That's why it's important to kind of assess where they take you the first time. Because it's like our conversations leading up should give you enough basic information to make a good choice for a first date. Happy to do that. That's a great, okay, good. Thank you, honey. Thank you. Thoughts on doing a group date as a first date? Hmm. Um, I think that might be a really good option for people who are more like introverted and maybe wouldn't feel as comfortable on a one-on-one situation. I think it's also a great idea if there's kind of like a matchmaker situation going on. So, Nicole, say you wanted to kind of hook a friend up with a mutual friend. I think it's a really cool way to do that. Like if you all went out bowling or you all did something together. I think it works really well in those instances. So, if the person is more introverted, or it's kind of like you're being introduced or like hooked up. But if not, the only reason I could see for why people wouldn't is maybe if it's like an out of state situation, you know what I mean? Like something like that, where there's an added layer of possibly not knowing how safe it could be. But then again, I would kind of say if you don't feel safe enough to be, in this person's presence, maybe you shouldn't go on a date. So that's kind of my general thoughts about that. Okay, cool. Oh, I got through those questions kind of quick. There's quite a few people on the live, so let me know, what are your questions about dating? The ladies in my membership, they have the best questions, honestly, and their questions are pretty detailed, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get to all of their questions. I might have to do that separately in my membership. Hey, Bree, another one of my ladies in the membership. Let me see. Fanny had some good ones, so I'm going to go and look at Fanny's. I'm not going to get to everything, Fanny, but I'm going to try to at least incorporate. Okay, so I thought this was kind of cool. Fanny asked a question about learning how to date. So specifically for people who have been divorced, right? So you've been married already. She expressed wanting to know, like, how do you even go backwards after you've just been accustomed to being a wife? So how can you just be a date, right? Without giving wife. So I'm going to have to slow walk this answer, honestly. I believe you're a wife before you're someone's wife. So once you have ascended and you embody wife, you always will. What you need to balance when you're not someone's wife is giving wife benefits, giving wife treatment. So if you are dating, you're not prioritizing this person like your husband. You are being polite, you are being appreciative, you are being thoughtful and considerate, because that's what we do as ladies. That is how we exude our femininity, right? That is not dependent on a man. That is how we show up. However, you're not prioritizing this man. You're not giving this man ultimate intimacy. You're not catering to this man. No. So I would say just remove the wife benefits and treatment. Show up as an amazing woman who's flowing in her feminine, with the goal of getting to know them and allowing them to get to know you. Your general personality, things that you like, things that are beautiful about you, whether you're funny, witty, intelligent, all sorts of other things. If you whatever your talents are, different things like that. So I would say focus on just getting to know people and enjoying company and experiences. That would be my general thing. Now, Fanny, because you're a part of my Queen's Court, we will go into this further when we meet this week. Okay, Bree has a question. Hey, Bree, dating question. How do you handle dating someone that is currently divorced and you've never been married? Great question, Bree. So I say a few things come into play here. For one, it depends on how long they were married and whether or not they have kids. So if they have kids, I would say you have to understand that there's probably still going to be some level of communication there, some level of, depending on the ages of the children, maybe collaboration there. So you have to be comfortable with that, right? I would say you have to be comfortable with that. That's one thing. I don't know how much you saw of this, Bree, but you might need to go back. I would actually be looking at the checklist to see if this person is healed. You know, what is their level of healing and why are they dating? I would be looking at that to make sure that they didn't push themselves out there too early and now you will actually be caught in the crosshairs of that. That's what I would recommend if you're a person dating someone who is divorced. Look at their boundaries. What type of boundaries do they have with their ex-spouse? How do they talk about them? Are they accountable? Or are they just blaming the spouse? Like they did nothing wrong and it's just their spouse. Because you could be that next spouse. So look at that. I hope that helped. Oops, sorry, hold on. Okay. Topics to steer clear of on a first date. Yes. I don't believe you should be getting too deep or philosophical. I think the first date is really like a chemistry check, right? A chemistry check. The energy. Is there a synergy here? Is there a positive energy that I wouldn't mind sharing space and time with you? Right? I would keep it very surface and only go as deep as feels comfortable. So there should be a mutual level of comfort. If the energy is inviting and you're flowing, go with it. Go with it. But in general, I would say keep it kind of surface, what you enjoy doing, major things about your personality, like the important things that would start to at least build something and get someone comfortable with opening up more. So I would steer clear of maybe being too strong in certain beliefs. It's not a time to debate things like that. I would steer clear of asking too deep of questions about their past. Their past, I want you to consider past as like a part of intimacy. Everyone doesn't deserve to know the specifics of your past. Certain things about that should be reserved only for a person that's investing in you, that's, building a relationship with you. So give that same courtesy when you're getting to know someone. You don't deserve to know all of their intricate details and things either. I would say keep it kind of surface and maybe get out the hard non-negotiables. Like you should know if they have kids, you like things that would give you a hard stop. Find approachable ways to do that. But I would steer clear of strong points, debates, going too deep on their past, things like that. Yes, that was a great question, Nicole. Thank you so much. Yeah, our one-on-one's going to be good. We got a lot to cover. Yeah, great question. Tapping in for my single friends. Nicole, I love how whenever you get a chance to get on the lives, you are always like planting the seeds for people that they should be paying attention to. That's the awesome thing about people who have been married a long time. They're speaking from the knowledge of where they are. So they can give you the cheat codes and the things you should be thinking about on the front end. So thank you so much. Oh, that's good. Okay, good. Okay, let's talk temptations. What is your advice on handling temptations other than posting in the group? What do you mean temptations? Can you give me an example? What, like sexual temptations or things you're trying to abstain from? Give me a little bit more clarity because I want to make sure I answer it the right way. Your advice on handling temptations. So I'll give you a second to clarify that for me, Bree. Yep. The past is part of intimacy. Absolutely. Okay. My gems. Okay. Yes. That's what we need to do. Put the gems in the chat when the gems get dropped. Yes. Everyone doesn't deserve to know the specifics of your past. They do not. They do not. Okay. So any temptation, sex, oversharing. I think this is a part of making sure you're ready, right? If you don't have a handle on certain things, are you really ready to get out there? So part of it is whatever you're feeling anxiety about that you might think could be a temptation, I would recommend already thinking about that and making a decision, right? So make a decision about how much you're willing to share. And that way you can have a clear kind of path for that particular thing. If it's regarding like sex, intimacy, already have that kind of dialogue with yourself. How far am I willing to go? What is off limits? What is like not even an option? Have these conversations with yourself so you can have your own boundaries when you go. And then it becomes just something within yourself that you can handle. Right? You can remind yourself, nope, I said I'm not sharing that. Nope, I'm going to steer clear of that type of conversation. So that's what I would say. Try to do more of the work on the front end. Think about what could trip you up, what would make you overshare, what could put you in a position where, sex is a temptation or a certain level of intimacy, whatever that is for you. Try to think about it up front and then make a decision about how you would handle it. Hold on, Will is saying something. Getting too comfortable too quickly. I think, this is, give me a second. Because I got to think about what I want to say because this isn't a simple answer. Because getting too comfortable too quickly could be for a number of reasons, right? There could be an unhealthy reason where a person just can't be by themselves. They like have these unhealthy attachments and they just want to attach. That's unhealthy, getting too comfortable too quickly. But I've also seen that people that are coming from certain relationships where they weren't able to share, once they've freed themselves and they just want to be expressive. So it comes from a pure place, that they want to share. They now have just found themselves again and they kind of feel open. The danger in getting too comfortable too quickly is it robs you of the opportunity to assess properly. You need to leave time to see certain things. And when you get too comfortable too quick, that's how red flags become pink. It's not that bad. Because you start liking them too much. Like, when I went on my first date with Will, I was like doing everything I could to like put up a barrier to like liking him too much. I'm like, I came off not rude, but I came off a little stern, like, oh, I'm watching you. And when he was doing stuff, I wouldn't get too excited. Like, I would be appreciative, I would thank him, but I would reserve a little bit for me because I'm like, I need to be able to see clearly. So you need to remind yourself that, right? Like, every date ain't gonna end in marriage. I mean, hopefully you luck out like me. You hit the jackpot when you get out there. But the reason why I could hit the jackpot is because I did a lot of preparation on the front end. On the front end. So I was clear about what I wanted. I knew what it looked like. And then I did the processing to assess him. So that's a little tidbit there, right? Oversharing, getting too comfortable too quickly. I rarely see it as a positive thing, even when there's really good chemistry, even when there's sparks. You still got to take the time to allow things to show themselves, allow circumstances to happen so you could see a person in different lights. You can see how they handle different things. Come on, give me my gems. Robbed you of the opportunity to assess. Yep. Let me see. I don't want to. Okay, hold on. I got to go back because I'm seeing other questions. Okay, Kala. I've canceled an engagement and I'm also a divorcee. I don't trust my judgment in a partner. How do I get over that mountain? You don't trust your judgment because you haven't forgiven yourself. You haven't forgiven yourself. You're still blaming yourself for who you chose or what you did or didn't do. Like, you might not say it and you might not even think that this is true, but I'm willing to bet you still carry some of that with you. And it's understandable. It's understandable. That's a really big disappointment, right? And you've already experienced marriage before. Like, anytime, like one time kind of not getting it right is enough to throw you off. But then say you're divorced and then there's a broken engagement, you start to attack yourself like, what's wrong with me? And there's nothing wrong with looking inward to be accountable. That can work in your benefit, but it does not work in your benefit to look inward to beat yourself up. Because guess what? Then you're going to keep picking out of that lower level state. Remember, I said to get your self-esteem up because you date at the level of your self-esteem. Your self-esteem cannot be that high if you are blaming yourself, if you haven't forgiven yourself. So what I would recommend to you is maybe writing a letter to yourself. Get it all out. What you feel about your decisions, why you allowed something to happen, why you chose that, what you learned, and forgive yourself. Get it all out. Burn it. And as you're burning it, say, as this burns, it leaves. As this burns, I am forgiven. And let it go. And move forward. Yep. Plant a seed. Yep. This is good too, baby. Oversharing might give someone the blueprint to get close to you with their disingenuous intentions, which will only leave you in that negative cycle of what's wrong with me? I can't trust myself. I don't know how to choose, because you'll be letting someone in. They'll be taking advantage of you. So stepping the intimacy and the sharing and how you're opening up is a protection from that. Now, it's not to say that someone might not play the long game and still be disingenuous. You can't stop that. However, the more detached you are, the more objective you can be in the process, the more likely it is that someone can't play with you like that. So that's a good one, babe. Yep, I agree. A narcissist will use that information you give them against you, and fast. It's best to temper the level of transparency on a first date. Absolutely. I covered this in one of my lives. I got to think about it. But I specifically said about the levels of intimacy. Like you have to reserve certain things for each level. And the level of intimacy should match with the level of investment. The level of investment of their time, of their resources, of them sharing of themselves, it should match, it should align. You should not be sharing and giving everything to someone who hasn't thoroughly put together a date for you. You shouldn't be giving someone all of your past when you don't even know there's a potential for a future with them. So it's of the utmost importance that we approach dating with levels. You are in the beginning just getting to know them, getting to know, are you crazy? Right? Do you have any serious things I can't deal with? Go on a date, watch how they eat. Listen, I'm not even gonna talk about it. Just observe, right? Observe. Yeah. Yeah, Nicole got some good ones tonight. Definitely got some good ones. It robs you like, girl, you're releasing all control. You're the master of this ship. Yes, drive that boat. Yes, absolutely. Carla, don't say, it's to set you free. It's to set you free. That's me too. You're not alone. I'm working through it now in the membership. It is something completely normal. Completely normal. I always say I'm the common denominator in my failed relationships. That is true. And Mom. Oh, goodness. That is true. You are the common denominator in your failed relationships. However, you should realize that just for a level of accountability. Just for, what can I learn about me? What can I learn about myself that will give me insight on what may be attracting these types of men, these types of experiences? That's the only reason you should have that thought. You shouldn't have that thought to say, well, I'm the common denominator and that's why they fail, or like to beat yourself up. That's not going to help you. That's not going to help you at all. Yep. Accountability gives you the power to be against the problem and not yourself. Absolutely. This letter is going to be a book. Good. I wrote myself a forgiveness letter one time. It was 4 pages back to back, those skinny lines. So do what you got to do. It feels good to release it though. Fantasia, go ahead and free yourself. Absolutely. You'll be burning it all. Yep. You'll get it out, and that's key. Absolutely. Investment of themselves should energetically match your level of intimacy. Yep. And Will says, if the energy doesn't match, you'll know it when you've done the work to recognize it. Again, this brings it back to your readiness, your preparedness. I know that we want companionship, right? We want to meet our person. We want to get on with our lives. But when you take the time to do your work on the front end, you're going to have a better experience. And for those of you that don't want to get lost in the sea of dating and Beyonce forgetfulness, like you want to move things along, you want to, date, get engaged, and get married. That's the path I set. If you're doing the work on the front end, you're more likely to have that experience and not have to go through a bunch of dates in a long, drawn out period of exclusive dating. That last date I went on had my eyes on this man in a flirty way, and he was so nervous. It was kind of cute. He changed the way he ate his shrimp when he saw me watching. I was like, oh, that means he want to impress you. That is cute. I know. Okay, Fanny. Fanny said, I'm quiet because I'm taking all of this in. It's a lot. It is absolutely a lot. So that was the lesson. If you all don't have any more questions, I'm just going to remind you, I'm doing a 3-day IG live series called Spring Clean Your Dating Life. And I'm doing this with Coach Natasha. Follow me on Instagram, Destination Deanna, so that you can take part in that 3-day IG live Wednesday afternoon, 12:30 Central Standard Time. And I have been talking about this, but I'm doing my final Love Attraction Mastery course. It is a 4-week intensive course where I'm teaching 4 lessons. So you all see the lessons that I teach on Monday, my lives. So imagine that, but it's tailored to specifically setting the foundation for you on your love journey. We spend 1 week healing. We spend another week learning the laws of attraction. We spend another week actually crafting your power partner profile. So you get super clear on what you want. So you'll be prepared to date. And then the final week is literally bringing it all together, making sure that you are in alignment and positioned to attract the love that you desire. So you would be ready to start dating. So that's 4 weeks. It is a small investment of $149. Please, if you know it's time for you to move forward and actually do something, stop piecemealing your healing together. Let me guide you through it. Go to destinationdeanna.com and you can click on the curriculum page, and it is the 4-week Love Attraction Mastery course. It is the course. And my coaching gem for today. So this is what you can keep with you. Make sure you're ready to date. Let's keep it simple. Make sure you're ready to date. So if you came in a little late, go back and watch the beginning, about 15 minutes of the live, where I talked about the questions to ask yourself to decide whether or not you're ready. And if you weren't, I gave 2 paths. One if you weren't ready, and one if you are. So go back, take a look at that. Make sure you share this live with anyone you know, whether they're divorced, getting over a long-term relationship that did not work, considering dating. I mean, now anybody can listen to it. So I see there's a few comments. Let me just do one more sweep over there to make sure. I love when the ladies be just loving on each other and giving support. Fanny, you're so impressive. Yep. And Carla, look, she's talking to you, girl. I love to see you. Come on, come join us. That's a great gem. Thank you, baby. I was thinking of something else, but when it came down to it, I was like, keep it simple. Keep it simple. What's your other question, Bree? I'm still here. You got five minutes, because I'm trying to be diligent about my sleep. So we got to end these lives. It's going to be an hour, and that's it. So go ahead. It's 9:56. I got 4 minutes now. 4 minutes. What advice would you give to a woman who has been engaged twice but is holding out hope to still get married? Well, first of all, if you've been engaged twice, that means you know how to hook them. You know how to hook them. You know how to attract them. I would say maybe you need to spend some time getting really clear about what you want, what it is you want, so you can be more purposeful before getting engaged. I mean, we really need to be thinking about engagement as just the time that you're planning the wedding. Engagement shouldn't be used for, oh, I'm still trying to find out if I want to marry you. No, I mean, you can use that time to really talk about what you want out of marriage so you all can prepare to design your marriage. But if you're saying yes to a person's proposal, you should be pretty clear that you want to marry them. She's losing hope. We don't want you to lose hope, because I mean, there's women that have been married 5-6 times and they ain't losing no hope. So there's no lack of men available. There's no lack of options for you. It literally is spend some time with yourself, getting to know yourself. What do you want? Are you ready to receive what it is you want? Are you prepared to maintain whatever it is you want? That's what I would say. What is extra dating? I don't know. I don't know what's extra dating. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's what I said. Bree's just repeating what I said. Engagement doesn't equal extra dating. No. I mean, the engagement is supposed to be for the preparation for the marriage. That's what the engagement is for. You should be ironing out what are our beliefs. I mean, most of that in general, you should know before you say yes. So let's backtrack it a little. We got 2 minutes. So if a person is proposing, if a man is proposing, let's be clear about that, because some of y'all's out here proposing. I don't know what. Y'all clearly can't be from my channel, but anyway. If a man is proposing, he's thought about his life with you. He's thought about how you would support him and be his partner. So he's already made the decision that you're that one. So as a woman, if you are accepting a proposal, you should be thinking about that on the other end. What is your life like with this person? What type of partner are they? And then for the engagement, after you get engaged, you should be setting a date within the next 30 days. You should be setting a date. Then that time is for wedding planning and marriage planning, meaning you should talk about your roles in the marriage. What are your expectations of the husband, of the wife? You should talk, are we having kids? If you haven't already worked that out, now would be the time. Where are we going to live? What type of retirement do we want? Like, you should talk about these to make sure there is still the alignment, because you do still have the opportunity to back out at this time. But I don't want you all considering engagement period as an extension of dating. It's not. The engagement period should be about planning your wedding, preparing for your marriage. That's what engagement should be about. Proposing Gem. Thank you, baby. A whole nother live. Whole nother live. Oh man. My ladies and my queens from my membership, please take note of all the other lives that have come from this from this conversation. Yes, Bree, call us in the Love Attraction community. So for those of you who are, first time viewers, or you're just not familiar, we do have a free community, the Love Attraction community. It is a Facebook group, but you can get to it directly from my website as well. So if you go to destinationdeanna.com, right on the front page, you can click on Love Attraction community. It'll take you there. Please answer the questions. If you don't answer the questions, my admin assist won't even accept you, and I won't even know you were there. So you have to answer the questions. We want real people in there who are willing to give their email address so they can be a part of my email list, so we know what it is you're actually looking for, so we can serve you. If you're not willing to do that, you don't need to join. Thank you. Leave me alone, Shaka. Yes, I guess I got to be clear about who should do the proposing. Exactly. Thank you, fellas. If you're proposing, you're already decided. The engagement period is not to further decide. It's 10, so thank you. Yes, 10:02. Thank you for keeping me accountable, Bree. I got to get out of here. Engagement isn't the time to be. Yep, it's not. If we engage, I'm ready to jump the broom. Exactly. Will told me the minute he asked me to marry him, I was his wife. He carried it like I was his wife from that day, and that's it. So yes. All right. I love you all. Please remember, God is love. We are of God. So attracting love should be easy. Why? Because you got a guide in me, right? Please tune in every Monday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. We have a discussion in the front. It's a live coaching gem lesson, and then we have a Q&A. So that's the format for the week. Looking forward to seeing you all next week. All right. Love you all. Bye.